Thermaltake are known for their cases and cooling, and today we will be looking at the Armor Revo. The Revo is a facelift release of the previously successful Armor case. It introduces some new features that bring it into the current era of desktop tower standards. The updated features include larger fans and filters, USB 3.0 support, bottom mount PSU, cable management with rubber grommets, support for a top mount radiator, CPU cooler bracket mount access hole, side-facing hard drive cage, toolless hardware installation, and a black interior. Included in the box we have the user's manual, a 5 1/4 inch to 3.5 or 2.5 inch drive bay converter, a front panel adapter for a card reader or floppy disk drive, a 8-pin to 2x4 pin splitter, a speaker, some cable ties, and assorted screws and standoffs for installing components. At the front, on the top, we have a hard drive dock for 3.5 inch and 2.5 inch SATA drives, 2 USB 3.0 ports, 2 USB 2.0 ports, an eSATA port, headphone and microphone jack, power button, reset button, hard drive activity LED, and some fan controller buttons for high speed, low speed, and for the fan LED. Over here we have a logo that lights up when the system is on, and down the side there are 2 signature aluminium flaps that give the case its Armor name. There are 4 5 1/4 inch drive bays that have a toolless removal system and also function as fan filters when installed. Over here there is ventilation for the 200mm front intake fan with blue LEDs. The whole front bezel can be removed by simply pulling from the bottom to reveal the fan filter, which clips off for easy cleaning. On the side we have a small window at the top of the side panel and a plug-and-play 200mm fan, allowing you to easily remove the side panel without having to worry about unplugging the fan. A unique feature from Thermaltake is this bracket for hanging your headset on. Moving through the panel to the interior reveals a black finish throughout, rubber grommeted holes for cable management, as well as a large hole in the motherboard tray for access to the rear of the CPU for installing coolers. There are 6 toolless hard drive cages that receive air directly from the front intake fan. Between the hard drive cage and the back of the case there are 330mm to allow large video cards to be installed. The top of the case houses a large 200mm exhaust fan with space for an optional 120 or 140mm fan in addition. There are also holes for mounting a dual 120mm water cooling radiator internally on the top. On the bottom we have a movable bracket for installing a power supply, as well as a 120mm fan slot over here. The ventilation on the bottom of the case is protected by a dust filter that can be easily accessed from the back outside of the case. The case also sits on top of 4 plastic feet that can be swiveled out for extra stability or turned in to reduce the footprint of the case. On the rear we have 3 rubber grommeted holes for water cooling, a 140mm fan, lots of ventilation, space for motherboard's I/O shield plate, and 8 ventilated expansion slots. Here is also where a standard power supply gets installed. On the right side we have access to the back of the motherboard tray for cable management and working on the CPU cooler retention plate through this hole. There is also a large bundle of cables to connect all the front panel ports to your motherboard. Between the motherboard tray and the side panel there is approximately 2 cm of space to allow plenty of cable management. Overall, this case is feature-rich and competes well with other offerings on the market. The build quality is solid and none of the panels feel flimsy. As a guy who normally finds myself leaning toward more minimalistic cases, I was surprised to find the styling less objectionable in person, and actually found the case design beginning to grow on me. And the practical features for cable management and dust filters make sure the system will keep looking good.